Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to talk about my strategy, what I expect in the market today, and why I expect it. But first, let me explain why I'm doing a new challenge. I started a new account with $100 on Moomoo. I signed up with Moomoo because they gave me a free stock just for signing up. When I deposited $100, I got 4 new free stocks. I think I got it yesterday because I've been in Moomoo for about a week. The link is below. So I'm going to tell you what I've done with that account, why I've done that with that account. I did it because my best friend recently got laid off. He does not have a hell of a lot of money. He doesn't have a place to live. He's in New York City. And I said to him, you could trade $100 into like 10,000. And he basically called me out and he said, BS, you can't do that. You can't even trade $100 into $1,000. So about a week ago, again, I deposited on Moomoo, like using the app. I deposited $100. I made small, smart trades that are base hits, and I took profit. Now, I've told people before, you must have a story for every single trade that you enter. So I'm just going to talk about my trades real quick before we get into the market and tell you what my strategy was for each of the trades, right? The first trade was a firm. I bought one option. I returned 185%. I paid $13 and I sold it for $37. The point with a firm is it was so beaten up. Crypto stocks were rebounding. Coin was rebounding. I know Kathy from ARK likes more speculative plays like Affirm, Roblox, stocks like that. Next, Plantier. I bought 3 contracts there. I paid $20 each, and then I bought more at $17. The reason for Plantier is I had seen this stock at $8.61. So I said to myself, I have a possible return of $61. If I could buy these for $20, then it was $17, and I can get $61. Great, that's going to be a hell of a return for a little account. Now, when it went to $35, I reevaluated. I didn't get out the high, which is $47, but I took $35, which was a 75% profit. Then next, I got a little lucky because I entered into Roblox. I bought 1 contract. Again, I know Kathy and other spec players like Roblox, even though the price target was lowered to $19. I think Roblox is trading above like $43 or $44 now. Now understand, Roblox, when I bought in, was coming down. I saw perfect entry, and then I got lucky on some news that came out that said users are using it 75% more over last year. But I anticipated that because my 2 kids are back at school and they're playing Roblox more than ever. Then I went into a materials play. But you understand, I don't have to list them all out for you. I'm just explaining. Each time I have a bunch of things to help me. So I have a reasoning why I'm buying it. It would be like if you're buying Disney because you say Disney not only is streaming, but they recently increased their price to go to their park. Even if you live in Florida, which I do, it's now $40 more a ticket. They're increasing their prices. There's no COVID restrictions on any Disney properties. Keep in mind, they make 90% of their revenue, or at least they used to, from their parks pre-COVID. So that's going to bring big money back. So you have to have a reason. Then you have a strategy. So your strategy is an overall view of the market, and you're like, okay, well, the market's sitting at, we'll talk about the SPY or the S&P. You say the SPY is sitting at like 368 pre-market, maybe 370 pre-market. And then you say, okay, possible downside. It could fall. People are predicting recession, but they're not saying recession until Q2 next year, Q1 next year. So it's not like it's going to be instantaneous gratification. So I'm not worried about going down. So for me, I just made a strategy for Disney. Disney at $94, $97 could easily go with a bit of a bull run in the bear market to like $104. Put together a strategy. Give yourself enough time to be correct. If I were going to buy Disney options, when would I go out? I'd go out till January because you have all of November, all of December, and you have the first 3 weeks in January to be correct. Now, I'm not touting Disney. I'm just giving you a clear example of what I do for each of my trades. And some of my trades are very quick. I'll give you an example yesterday, and this is what we'll talk about, and then we'll get into the SPY today. But yesterday, that little account that had $100 went from $100 to $350 over like 2 days, $350 to $650 the next day. And then yesterday, that small account had a great return. I got out of AMC calls on the morning spike. I got out of Plantier calls on the morning spike. And then later I got into SPY calls. even though when I went live, I was saying the SPY is going down and it's going to touch 368. Now, that was the strategy. It going down to 368, even at 371, I knew it was going down. I thought it would bounce off 368. Now, I was incorrect by 50 cents. It went to 367.50, and my calls that I paid $2.79 for when I was live went all the way down to $2.53. So right off the bat, I was down 10%. I bought two options, which was the small account was $657. So I spent maybe $550 of that, understanding that I was going to have support at 368 on the SPY. That's a support level. The same way 371 or 372 yesterday was a rejection level. So when we go into today talking about the SPY, we know that 371, 372, it has to break through. If it breaks through, I'll give you guys the next level very shortly. And if it breaks 368 on the way down, the next level down is 364.80. And again, I will talk about all those levels so that you can write them down. The important way to use the levels is when it breaks or rejects a level, you know that you could be in puts because the market will likely go down to the next level. If it breaks through a level, and we've seen bullish days like that. Okay, so what do I look at each day before I go into the market? This is my pre-market analysis. We're getting to it 6 minutes late. I had a good story to tell. That small account from $100 is now up to $1,000, which is what? 1,000% in 1 week of trading. So it is possible. The goal is to grow it to $10,000. So we'll see how that goes. I will keep doing live streams when I make a trade. So please make sure you're subscribing and pushing the notification. If I go live and I'm talking about a trade and you want to ride on this train with me, but you're not around, you just won't know. And you'll hear me talking about it the next day, how I secured 40% or 60% or something to that nature. Okay, so the first things I do when I look at the day of trading is I'll go and I'll pull up my phone and I pull up the 2-year, the 10-year, and the US dollar, because that tells us how expensive it is to invest in our markets. So right now, I mean, it's not looking good. I'm assuming futures just dropped. I'll just show you on my phone. Again, you can see that. The US dollar. So what does it do? I mean, this is the 10-year. What is it doing? It's spiking. Okay, you can see a clear spike. Now, if it comes back down, that's not a problem. But pre-market, it's sitting at 4.10% when it was 4.01% yesterday. So it's up 9 basis points, making it extremely more expensive from last night to this morning to invest in our stock market. Then I will look at the 2-year, which is more of an instant reflection when you borrow money. Oh my God, it's spiking again, 4.52, okay? Yesterday, it was 4.46. Then yesterday it was 4.43. So it was going down as the markets were going up. I said if it spikes over 4.50, I would be worried. That's a key psychological number for me. So it's 4.527. It's closing in at 4. So I'm assuming the markets just gave way pre-market. I'm not looking at that yet, but we will. Then I'll look at the US dollar. The US dollar 2 days ago was at $112.10. Okay. I said if it goes over $112.50, that makes it extremely expensive as it gets closer to 113. Okay. Where are we this morning? 112.90. Again, so we went up 80 cents basically overnight. Basically, you're saying it's almost an 8%. I mean, move. It's crazy. It's making the markets more expensive. I've got to check out the SPY right now. Pre-market, yeah, 368.51. I actually thought it would be lower. I thought we'd be around the 368 level flat right now, just based on that information. Now, it can quickly turn around. Again, the same way that the 10-year is spiking right now, which I showed you, it could easily drop. Now, how does it drop? The Fed comes out with an announcement about something. People digest the interest rate. There's less demand for bonds at a certain rate. It balances out, and that's what we'll see later in the day. But going into the market, it's not surprising me that futures turned, and they were green, okay, as we exited last night. They were green. They were green overnight. The Dow was green by about 200 points. Tech was green by about 100 points. Completely switched. I believe the Dow is probably negative, maybe 115, 116 points right now, which would probably make tech negative, maybe like 70 to 80 points, maybe a little less. 70 to 80 points. It's a good estimate. Always make predictions. Okay, So let's talk about my trading strategy today. Again, doesn't differ from other days. I'm looking at the SPY mainly because I know the SPY like I know family. Meaning, once you learn all the characteristics about an ETF, or you learn all the characteristics about a certain stock, whether it's Wynn Casino, Delta Airlines, Lockheed Martin, Tesla has earnings coming up. So people know Tesla like they know their family. So they're like, Tesla's supposed to report this many. So when they listen to the report, they know whether Tesla's plus or minus X thousands of cars, what the technical problems could be, where the gigafactories are. They're looking to hear specific information. So me, I trade this SPY because I understand support and resistance, and there are certain supply levels. So the reason the SPY was rejecting 371, 372 yesterday is because there's a huge supply level there. Meaning every time the SPY goes to 371 or 372, institutions, certain ones, believe that is the top and they're selling off. The same way we've seen massive support at 363 on the SPY, and we haven't been at 363 for 2 days. And prior to 363, we had massive support at 355, 356, and 357. So now I'm going to go over the SPY numbers. So if you have a pen, you want to write it down, we can talk about it, okay? On the downside, and I'm going to speak about 357 because that was the low last week for about 3 days. You have 357. When you break 357, the next level of support on the SPY is 360. Meaning, if you're watching the market and the market is throwing up for some reason, you basically look for it to bounce off support. So when you're looking to enter a position, you don't want to catch a falling knife as the SPY is dropping, but you want to know what you're looking for. Okay, so again, the next level of support is 360. So if the SPY breaks 363, which is the next level up, 360, 363, then you say, okay, it's going to 360, but I'm going to get ready for my calls at 360. Or you'll see it bounce off 363. Again, we're not there. The next level up is kind of 365, but it's not. It's a little under. You could actually write down, it's a very specific number. It's 364.80, okay? Now from there, we go about 3 points higher to 368. 368 is extremely important. All right, which is why I entered in my position yesterday. I had a great strategy yesterday, but the point that is so important is 2 days ago, the SPY rejected 368. Then overnight, let's remember, we opened at 375 yesterday, and I told people in a pre-market video, I said, if the market does go down, it will go down to 368. So it was there. We touched 368 again. That's when I entered the calls. I did sell them for profit. Anyway, and then we touched 367.50. But the point is 368 is mega support. So that's what I'm looking for. Even as we sit pre-market, understand if we drop under 367.50, okay, I would be a bear today. So we're talking about my strategy, okay? If we break as the market opens under 367.50 on the SPY, and let me add it to the stream so I can show you exactly what I'm looking at and why. Okay, so yeah, we're only a whole dollar above that, which is 0.25%. Let me go to the 5-minute chart. Let me make sure this is on so you all can see it. It is. Okay, perfect. So we were right here. Again, we didn't test those lows. So again, if we were to break through this level right here, which is the 367.50 that we touched yesterday, you can see all of yesterday, we didn't go below that point. So if we start out today below that point, it would make me more weary. Now, just because I say it gives me a strategy and it potentially makes me a bear today, depending if we see that action, it doesn't mean that that's what I'm going to do. That's one strategy, okay? Let's talk about a bullish strategy, okay? So we're talking about the price levels. Let's say we see support just where we saw it yesterday at 368. The next level up is 371. Now, I mentioned yesterday we're probably going to approach it 2 or 3 times. It attacked 371 level, actually 372, 3 times, and at the end of the day, we got a little run up, okay? So I do think that level is in play, even though, again, we're sitting at 368 and change right now. I believe 372 is definitely in play today. Any bullish positions that I'm holding one option going forward. I'm not going to sell it open because my strike price on my SPY is 369. Okay. The current value is $4 and change. So it's $436 option. I think the SPY could potentially go to 374 and change today. That's when I would sell. It would make my option worth 500 and change, maybe 600 with the time frame. Okay. So this is the difference about having a strategy. My strategy is to sell between $500 and $600, and that's what I'm holding for. I'm not going to buy a second option because they expire today, and I don't want to use a day trade, and I don't want to trade a 0 days till expiration option because there's no reason to risk an account that I'm trying to grow. So again, strategy. I want to give myself more than enough time. I want to buy one contract at a time. Okay, one contract at a time. You have $100 account, $1,000 account, doesn't matter. One contract at a time. I mean, you guys see those guys on Twitter and YouTube. Hey, I turned $278,000 today. That's not you. That's not me. If your account's at $1,000, man, you're looking to make $160 today. Excellent day. I had a fabulous day with that small account. Went from $600 past $1,000. It was like, actually, it did better yesterday. But the point is, you must limit yourself. You must limit your expectations. So somebody said to me, you grew your account from 100, you're sitting at 1,000. What are your expectations today? Are you going to double it? Heck no. That would be the silliest expectation. What would I like to happen today? Number one, I would like to find a green trade. It doesn't happen every day. I mean, my last 9 trades are all green. My last 13 out of 15 trades are green, but it doesn't happen every day. So number one. Number two, show patience. If you don't know whether the market, and I'm telling you right now, the SPY could touch 375 today, and it could also touch 364.60 today. If today's a bear market, 364.60, I think we get a bounce. If today is a bullish market, then yeah, I think we touch 375, which we saw it open yesterday. Now let's remember, institutions, hedge funds, some of them have to be bullish all the time. The first 2 days of quarter four, they were buying. Then we saw consolidation. Last Thursday, we spiked on the SPY from 348 to 367. What did I say was going to happen Friday? Consolidation, okay? What did I say would happen Monday? Market up. In fact, I said I actually thought we were going to see Monday up, Tuesday up, and the first half of Wednesday up before maybe the market teetered. Now, it seems to be teetering pre-market, so I could be incorrect. But I actually think the market will show a little strength this morning. And my reasons are opposite from the 2-year, the 10-year, and the US dollar. Netflix came out with earnings, came out with a decent report. All right. They were up 15% after hours yesterday. Oh, man, the 2-year spike, the 10-year spiking as it is. So they were up 14% after hours. Now they're only up 10.64%, Netflix. So I saw somebody say Netflix puts at open. If the market gets ugly, if you think the SPY is going to 363 and going to lose 2% today, then yeah, that's a decent trade idea. If you think, like me, the market's going to be choppy today and that will likely trade somewhere between 367 and 374 most of the day, right? Up and down most of the day, then that's not such a great idea because Netflix could easily go from up 10% now back up to 14%. So another 4% on Netflix is $10. And if your contracts expire on Friday and you're $10 in the wrong direction on Netflix, then you just blew up your account. I don't care if it's small account, big account, super account. All right. I'm just trying to see if I have anything plays that. Okay, here's a play that looks interesting. PCG. I'll bring it up for everybody. Why? Because PCG, it's going to take me time to bring it up. I'm not this fast. PCG, Procter & Gamble. It's an electric. It's a utilities company. Well, that wasn't so slow at all. Let's go to the 4-hour so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Let me pull up the 2-hour first. StreamYard. Oh, there it is. Good. All right. So PCG, Pacific Gas and Electric Company. They basically run the power in California. Power rates are going up in Texas, California, whole bunch of places. But this is a staple or a safe play because that's what banks and institutions are big money are investing in. Now, if we go back, let me just look at a longer chart here. 1 day. Let's look at it 1 day. Because we saw a spike earlier last week where this went north of $15.50. Okay, and then we'll go back to the 3-minute chart. And we're sitting at $14 right now, $14.15. So understand when it comes to a safe play, a utilities play. They don't move like tech stocks. Utility stocks don't go from $14 to like $18. They don't go up 30% in a week. They also are very safe. They don't drop very much. So when I tell you that banks and big money are looking to hedge their money, let's say they're unsure about the stock market, they're worried about a recession, they're going to a utilities company like PCG. So here, when they were buying in, the hedgies, the banks were buying in, they pushed it up all the way to $16. It's since contracted, and I mentioned it in our public watch list. I said, here's an interesting idea. I think it was like $13.80. So yeah, it's 2% higher already. Now, if I was going to play PCG and I was going to play options, I would go out to like March, maybe February. This thing doesn't move that fast. So if we get it back to 16 and change, and you buy the $15 calls and you go out, you'll probably crush it. Again, base hits, not long plays. I have no position, just suggesting an idea. Okay. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, please ask it on the side. Other than that, I'm just going to give a final. We'll talk about the SPY right now. So again, SPY sitting at 368.78. Okay. That's pre-market as the 10-year is spiking. Okay. The 2-year is spiking. The US dollar is spiking. Okay. So what's going to happen? Well, just like the market, things don't spike all day or dip all day. It finally settles, and when they decide that spike was a little too much, I expect the 2-year come down from 4.53, which it is right now, to 4.48. Okay, come down 5 basis points, lose half of its overnight gain. I expect the same thing for the 10-year. 10-year sitting at 4.11. It was 4.01 yesterday morning. So I'm expecting it to come down a little. Again, nothing continuously spikes. So when this happens, and you could watch it, same with the US dollar, which is 112.88 right now. As soon as the US dollar comes down to 112.50, 112.56, it makes all of our markets back to where they were pre-market when we were green. Okay, so when people are saying, oh, it's going to get red or ugly. Yeah, if you see the US dollar spike a whole nother dollar to 114 and you see the 2-year go to like 4.7, yeah, it's going to get nasty, but that's not happening today. So yeah, we've got Tesla coming out with earnings today. Tesla, a meme stock, definitely not a meme stock, but earnings, I don't really follow Tesla like family, but a lot of people do. So when I was talking about they're coming out with deliveries, they're going to talk about their Gigafactory, they're going to talk about other things. Now, the problem for Elon is when Tesla comes out with earnings, people are going to mention that he's got to sell some stock in January or whenever he's allowed to sell stock in. I think it's the beginning of January to pay off his Twitter requirement, because I think he needs another $2 to $7 billion to do that. So anyway, my thoughts on the market. Again, if I'm zooming out, I'm still thinking bull run and bear market. And I'm still thinking the only thing that would make me think bear would say we would just need to collapse a full day. We'd have to capitulate. So that has a 5% chance of happening. Yeah, we're going to lose, 371, 14 points, 5% on the market one day. I don't think it's happening today, but one day, sometime in the next month, the market's going to drop 5% in one day. That is a prediction. Until then, I'm going to play momentum. I'm going to be somewhat bullish, but speculative. Okay. I'm going to look for the perfect entry. Now, the perfect entry is, say you're going to pay $1.50 for an option. Whatever contract it is, puts or calls. You're about to put in an order, $1.50, tip of the day. Instead, take 10% off that, 15 cents off. Put in $1.35. So anything you're going to pay $1.50 for, pay $1.35 for today. Just put in the order. See if you get it. If you do, you'll be like, holy cow, dude just saved me $15 on one contract. I bought 10 contracts. He saved me $150. Now, the same thing if you're buying a more expensive. You're going to play the SPY today, right? Now, the SPY moves so quickly like this. You're going to play the SPY. That's great. You're buying a contract for $298. Whoa, hold on. Take 10% off that. Take $30 off that. Instead of $298, put your order in for $268. Here's the catch about the SPY. It moves so quickly that you think $298 is a great entry for whatever position you're choosing to play. And I bet you get the same contract for 10% less. Same if you're buying a Mara, a Square option, whatever it is. Now, when you're selling an option, you're getting nervous. You have a contract and it's valued at $4 and you're like, oh my God, I better sell before it goes down. Don't screw yourself. Instead of asking for $4, which you would have asked for, take 5% more on the way out. Whatever contract you're playing, if I'm going to sell a contract for $4 today or $400, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to ask 420. It's my nibble rule. It means I'm going to get an extra 5%. The same way we always try and call the bottom and the entry on the way in. And I'm like, I paid $3, everybody. And then it goes down to 270 or 250, right? I paid 279 yesterday for the call option. So the one position I'm holding overnight is a SPY call for that small account. Now let's remember why I bought it. I bought it because originally I bought it, paid 279. I sold it for 445. When the market dropped, I bought one contract for 263. Okay, so even though the market is down pre-market, my contract ended yesterday at $4.63. So again, I'm not worried that it's down. I got great entry. So the point about any trade, whether you're bullish or bearish, whether you're playing Roblox, Plantier, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, Netflix, Roku, whatever it is, you better nail the entry. So how do you nail the entry? You use the levels of the SPY. So if you're saying to yourself, I'm going to buy a put or a call on open, I'm going to tell you you're incorrect if that's how you trade. Because if you're buying a put, you're looking for the top of whatever stock it is. The top. If you think the top's going to be exactly an open, maybe, but likely it'll be like bump, bump. Oh, there it is. So it would make so much more sense to buy the put up here than at open. Plus, you're paying too much at open. The spreads between the bid and the ask are pretty large. Around 10:15, 10:30, they narrow, which is why I don't like to trade until at least 10:30 because I know I want to get most value, whether I'm getting an entry or an exit. With that said, please follow your strategies. Don't just trade. Make sure you tell yourself a story for every single trade. I spoke about that with my spreadsheet in the beginning. Every trade I entered into, I knew exactly why I was entering in, when I entered in, what I was looking for on exit. You don't just buy an option for $30 and go, man, what's a good exit? 40, 45, 50? No, you buy a contract for $30 because you say, if the stock goes where I think it's going to go, my contract will be worth $58. So $58 is my exit. In at 30, out at 58, going to make 95%. That's a full strategy. In at 30, watching it go to 50 or 60, and then watching it go back to 20 and riding the elevator and going, damn, I should have sold this. What do I do with it? That is not a strategy. Small victories, build your accounts. So much better to feel like a winner. Hopefully you'll feel like a winner today and you'll come back tomorrow and we could all be winners together. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm going to be on Discord now and I'll talk to you